As I get into the yellow covering on this burrito, I'm going to do a little experimentation here. This yellow covering I purchased from Aloft Hobbies. It's about $7 a roll, far cheaper than the Ultracote, and it's supposed to go on about the same temperature as Ultracote. The only difference that I see is uh, when you pull the backing off, there's a slight amount of stickiness to the back of the covering, which isn't a bad thing, I guess. So maybe it'll help hold it. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this, and then I'll give you my thoughts after, and I can provide a link at the end. Tell you if I two thumbs up or whatever. And I got somebody that keeps talking. I guess she wants to help cover. So I'm going to continue the video here. All I've done is just tack it on these edges with the iron, and I'm using the same temperatures as what I used with Ultracote. So far so good. I mean, nothing's been shrunk or tightened, and it seems pretty happy. So I'm going to do the same thing. Go here and I'll hit the top of these ribs right at about the high point, I guess. And this, I'm working on the bottom of this wing. So we'll go down and again, this is my Coverite iron. It's got the same temperature as what I used to put on the Ultracote before. All right, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and lock in the leading edge with the covering iron, I guess. At this point, this is a first try at this stuff, but so far it seems very easy to work with. I guess the real key will be how well it goes around, say, wingtips or other things. But the savings, I want to say it's about a third of the cost of Ultracote. They have it in a bunch of opaque colors as well as transparent. So far so good. I guess we'll see if my Ultracote tricks work once I get the leading edge and trailing edge set, if I can use my iron on a higher heat setting to shrink it like I did the Ultracote. And so far it seems pretty nice. All right, I need to turn the wing around, so I'll stop for a second. All right, so we got the wing turned around. I'm going to work the trailing edge. It seems to me that this stuff might be just a little bit thicker than what the Ultracote is. It's got a little bit different feel. Now, when I looked at this and compared it against Ultracote, I took a 3-inch wide or 3-inch square piece and weighed it against Ultracote Transparent Light, and it looked like it's about the same weight. The folks at Aloft really didn't have any definite figures on how light it is, but I went ahead and I said, well, I'll try it anyways for the bucks. Be a nice alternative if it can work for us. But that worked pretty good again. All right, so there's wow, leading edge and trailing edge are on and locked in. I guess now we'll see how this works. So I'm going to go ahead and use the iron on the higher temperature. Well, it looks like it's shrinking pretty good. Might not be quite as aggressive as the Ultracote was. Yeah, I've got a couple, a real small little pucker here. Just keep working it with this iron. I'll be darned, it works pretty nice. And I'm just supporting the wing as I'm pressing down to shrink this. And it's shrinking pretty nice. One thing I want to do, it looks like it's shrinking enough, it's pulling right along this seam. I'm not sure if the adhesive is the same. It just seemed like it was pulling up a little bit. It's not bad. I'm going to go ahead and try to trim this, get the trailing edge. The only problem I see, I got a little bit of a wrinkle there. So I'm going to go ahead and treat the trailing edge with my little trim iron. if you can hear it, but it's got a more of a crinkle to it. It's obviously a different kind of plastic, I guess. Well, overall, that's not bad. I'm going to turn the wing around and do the leading edge. Shrink it. All right, we'll continue on the leading edge. I don't know if you can see, but I've got, in this case, I've got a weight wrapped in a towel just to hold the wing more stable. I guess my next concern is how this covering will be if you land off the field in some grass, if it's going to poke or tear the covering. I guess the easiest thing is don't land off the field. That's when I initially looked at this against the Ultracote, I think it was slightly thicker than Ultracote, and I can look at that again if we need to. And I guess the proof of the pudding will be when I get this finished to see what the wing weighs. I know what my first Pareto wing weighed once it was covered with the servos in it. So the center section, this is kind of a hybrid. The center section of this is Ultracote Lite Transparent Red, and this will be the Aloft Transparent Yellow. Overall, pretty impressive. It's pretty nice covering compared to the Ultracote for the price. But yeah, this shrinks up. I don't know if I'd say it shrinks as the same amount as Ultracote, but it's not bad. well, I think that's it for now. It looks pretty good. I'm going to trim it and I'll seal up the edges, and we'll post the information in the comments of the video. Well, here's what the wing looks like after everything's trimmed. It's not bad. There's a few little tiny puckers that I don't want to press too much to get it shrunk. I think I might be using maybe too much heat, because if it does shrink pretty well, but as you can see here on this, I had more overlap, and it's pulled the covering back, and I'm afraid to keep heating it up and pulling it off that rib. All in all, I think pretty good bang for the buck. So I'll post some links to the Aloft stuff.